is for managing data that you get from online forms. This can be used in any ministry. It can be used by teachers, catechists. There's just so many ways of using online forms. So, before we start, let's just do a little popcorn-style shout-out kind of thing. What kind of forms have you filled out recently?
Registration.
Registration.
Permission slips.
Permission slips.
Health.
Applications.
Health forms.
With health forms. Health forms.
Sign up for this class.
Surveys. Registration for this class. General information. What about the tax forms? So there are a lot of types of forms out there that you probably filled out at one time or another. This is just a few. There's probably a whole lot of other different types of registration. So I just thought I'd put a few there. But most people really hate filling out forms and ballots. And the thing is, though, that with all these new kinds of technologies that are developed to speed up all this gathering information, and people are still using these paper forms. I just remember how much I hated when my kids were little, first week of school. I have 4 kids, okay? And 3 of them were all in the elementary school at the same time. And they would come home with not just one emergency card, but 2. I don't know why they had to have 2 emergency cards in the school. But I had to fill out 2 for each one of my kids. I tell you, I really dreaded those forms. It's like, why can't they just have it in the office and have it to keep? Hopefully, that's what online forms will help eliminate. Having to duplicate forms for things, so that people can all use it from the same, access it from the same space. I mean, people have forms for forms. So what happens to those forms once you I just love Gilbert. So what happens to those forms? Well, you fill out the form, the information is filed, sometimes it's lost in a multitude, the data just sits on a piece of paper, filed away, the information can't be used anymore, and sometimes it's completely forgotten about. Now, this past Sunday was the gospel reading at the Talent. How many parishes had their time and talent surveys this week? Oh, no, not anybody. Well, maybe we gave up on those. How many have filled out a time and talent survey? Once? Twice? 3 or 4 times? And they get filed away, and people never call them. Because nobody is using the data that was gathered. But there is a better way so that everybody's happy, so that the person who's creating the form can be happier, the person who's using the form can be happier, and it's all by moving it to an online situation. So, why use online forms? They can be customizable, they're super easy to edit, and you can preview them and adjust them. You can be notified when people submit submissions. You can they all create their own spreadsheet. document merges, like certificates for your students. You just pull their names into the document that has the field in it. It looks really nice. Oops. So we're going to do a little icebreaker. How many of you have your smartphones or some sort of device that you can get online with right now? This is going to be a fun way to see how important to use in a fun icebreaker way. Now this is a bit link. It was a really long website, but I went to a web shortener site. Can you see their bit.ly or tiny URL? And it creates a shorter, simpler web link for people to read instead of with all those letters and numbers and symbols and everything else that's in a really long URL. So if you go to http://bit.ly/sock or shoe, you're going to come to a form that has a video, but we're going to watch the video part together, and then I'm going to show you how it gets, the, oh, I forgot. I've got my slides there, but that's okay. Okay, so we're going to watch, this is what your survey looks like. We're going to watch this little video very quickly. And then you're going to finish the form.
You know, if we don't catch that fish in boat, there ain't gonna be no deep sea fish. You have to stay on the dock with the old people at home. Oh, what you doing here? Hi. What about the other foot? There ain't no sucker. Go get to it. Don't you know that the whole world puts on a sock and a sock and a shoe and a That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Just work my way. Wait a minute, that ain't the plan. See what I told you? Suppose there's a fire in the house and you don't know the right from the roof. Your way, all you got on is one shoe and a sock. My way, you got on a sock and a sock. You see what I mean? Your way with a sock on each foot, my feet would get wet. My way with a sock and a shoe on one foot, I could hop around and stay dry. I think you've been hopping around like that. Hey, listen to me. Supposing you had a sock in the hole. I said suppose you had a hole. All right, it's got a hole. So, you ain't got enough matching pants. What are you going to do? Your way, you got to take off a whole shoe and a sock. My way, all you got to do is take off one sock. All right, well, then you have to start all over again. I'll figure it out when we're in a hurry. Start doing it the right way tomorrow morning. Do it that way for the rest of your life.
So you can embed a video right on your form. It could be an educational video, an question afterwards. So what I would like to do is continue to fill out this form, and while that's happening, I'm going to show you how the answers are coming in.
Can you tell us that website again? The bit.ly?
Oh, it's actually on your form, on the paper that I gave you. It's actually bit.ly/sock or shoe. And surprised to be the first one in, but whoever gets to
Oh, I did not know candy was involved. Getting a dance.
Who's singing it? Is that you? Yep, Teresa! You guys gonna sing the lyrics? Guns with a J. Yeah, socks and shoes, and then you've got to, you gotta get to the trivia. Now, anybody find out what happened when they got the wrong answer? Did anybody find the wrong answer? If you're finding the wrong answer, then it's that you, whoops, it'll make required questions, but if you put in the wrong answer, it'll say you're wrong, and you'll have to go back until you get to the right answer, which actually was Herbert Hoover. And once you've submitted, you should have come to the lyrics. Going away the miller So, that was just our fun activity. Now since those were the days back then, but thank goodness we're here in these days today. All right, so we're going to be talking about building web, the online forms. So 3 things to keep in mind when you're building an online form. You want to first choose the right form builder. You want to create user-friendly forms, and you want to be able to analyze the data. So now look at those 3 pieces. First of all, choosing the right creation tool. Now there's a lot of creation tools out there. That, you just Google that and you'll come up with a whole list of them. I have 5 that I have used or tried anyway. Actually, I've tried a few more, but this is the top 5 in my opinion. So, this is not a scientifically based use form, but we have Zoho, Wufoo, it sounds like a foreign language, doesn't it? Jot Forms, Adobe Form Central, and my number 1 choice, Google Forms. Let's take a look at this. First of all, Zoho, it says when you go to their website, it's like free, create online forms for free. But that's only for 30 days. So they only have a paid version. It's got a bit of a learning curve too. But there are a lot of great features. You can actually create column type forms. Most of the other form things are just one thing after another. And you can analyze the data in many ways. I don't have an example to show you of this one because I used my freebie account like a long time ago and I didn't want to have another one. So anyway, the next one though is Wufoo. Now Wufoo is pretty nice. Again, this is a paid version. You can get a free one, but you only get 3 forms free. Once you've used up your free forms, you're done with the freebie. And in that 3 forms, you can only ask up to 10 questions, so you are very limited. won't be in that free. You have to actually do the paid version. Now I'm going to show you just an example, some of the Google examples from their website. You can see how that's easy. Here's the contact form. So you can just use their templates. There's a meeting form. So they have a lot of ones that are already pre-made, and you can choose them, choose whatever you'd like, appointment applications, all sorts of things, surveys, invitations, look, we've got a potluck dinner. Yes, you're coming, what do you think? So they have a lot of great templates. That's cool. JotForm is really nice because JotForm actually integrates seamlessly with Google. So I actually have in Google, you can have add-ons in your Chrome, and I did add on JotForms, so it actually creates a JotForm folder in your Google Drive. And then you can have your JotForms connected, and when you're in Google Drive, you click your survey, and it goes right out to JotForm. And you can have your Excel, your JotForm submissions brought right into a Google spreadsheet, which is really nice. So I have here, and if you can try any of these websites on your own. This one here is another Bitly with Advent Q for quiz. When you go on that, if you want to try it, it will look like this. So you would fill in your first name. How many weeks are there, Advent? Which candle is, which week has the pink candle? The third Sunday of Advent is also? Which feast is not celebrated during Advent? St. Stephen. St. Nicholas is December 6th. You put your shoes out and St. Nicholas comes home. True or false? Jesus celebrated Advent with the apostles. It's false? Okay. Okay, so you get your thank you. Now, if I go into my sheet, you will see how it's all right there. I just put that one in right now. Now, for teachers, how many teachers in here? Okay, have you heard of Flugaloo? Okay, Flugaloo is a great way to grade your students right from an Excel sheet or a Google sheet. So what you would do is go to add-ons, and you would get add-ons, and you get Flugaloo. Now, to get add-ons looks like this. We'll go to this. Okay, there it goes. I'm very excited. So there's Flugaloo, and you'll just add. Okay, so once you do have it, you'll just regrade assignments. You'll click here, and down here you'll have your whole spreadsheet. I do really like it. For basic, it's only 99 cents a month if you buy just a very basic. You just want to have 5 forms and it collects 500 responses. So that's not bad for just 99 cents. I have the Acrobat Pro because it gives you a whole bundle of other, it's like a whole suite of things. So you have a lot of things for PDFs, to merge PDFs, to change PDFs into Word docs, or to take Word docs and put them into PDFs. And there's a lot of things you can do with the Acrobat Pro. And included in the Acrobat Pro is their Form Central. Here's one that I created on Form Central. Now what's nice about this is it does allow you to manipulate where the fields are. You can have 3 fields across, 4 fields across. You can, you can place those fields anywhere you want. You can add your images. You can, and it really makes beautiful forms. So here, this is a student confirmation registration. So this actually, once you actually can have your uploads here. You can select a file to upload, takes you right to your files. It's really nice with the Adobe. It gives you a lot of features. Okay, then we have Google Forms. And since we all have the SIRDIO account, you have Google Forms. And Google Forms is totally free, no matter how many forms you make, no matter how many people are submitting to your form, it's totally free. And what's nice about Google is that the Google Forms is it works with all the other Google products. And it can be used in, well, all of the different forms can be embedded. But it's very easy to learn. The learning curve of using Google Forms is quite easy. It works with Google Classroom. You can put those add-ons for limits, merging, grading, self-grading, mail notifications. So Google Forms is really nice. The one thing that it doesn't have is like the PayPal integration. But other than that, it's a really great product. So those are the form builders. Now, when you're creating your form, just some tips here. You want to have clear labels for your fields and not put the labels within the field itself. And I'll show you an example of that. Avoid long forms that people have to scroll through, because sometimes they miss things. If you are going to have a little bit of a longer form, it's kind of good to put page breaks in it so that it goes in sections. It's good to let people know if it is a longer form, this form will take 3 to 5 minutes to fill out, or have a progress bar put on it, which Google Forms has. Google Forms is great because it has easy navigation back and forth, but that's something you want to look at when you're choosing a form builder. You want to provide autofill whenever possible. They take the same things over and over again. Things like state, area code, those kind of things. Keep the instructions clear, have visual, because some people like to see pictures. Provide a confirmation response screen that you can customize so people know that they actually submitted something. And avoid irregular placement of fields, because people might miss them. Especially if you're using, when you're using the tab button, and it's not going as it should. way, and you're going from first name to address. It's like, very frustrating for a user. This was found on a FIDO website to order a new iPhone. So if you were ordering an iPhone 6, it just looks a mess, doesn't it? There's no rhyme or reason to this list. It's not done by color. It's not done by, it's just like random, all over the place. Very frustrating for a user. This is actually on the website. Here's when you put the option to have the label within the field. As soon as your cursor hits that field, the label goes away. So if the user's not paying attention and they're tabbing through, the minute they hit that item, it's like, oh, what did they want on this one? Kind of things to keep in mind. All right, now, analyzing data. The ways to manage and analyze your data. Once you have that spreadsheet that's created and information is coming in, there's things you can do to help you see the information. First of all, when you're doing your questions, I suggest you try to keep your questions very short or even just a label, and then write the complete question out in the description. Google Forms can do that very easily. Because they would see like, for instance, if you had the question, say if you're trying to do an interest survey and you want to ask your students what's their favorite way of learning, is it reading, is it, you would just put interest on the top on the question, and then where the description is, write out the entire question. What is your favorite preferred way of learning? Okay. So keeping the title short. That way, when you have your Excel sheet, it's not like going like way out. When you're in your sheet, you can freeze the column so that things will slide through, keep everything in order. And you can freeze the header row so things will slide up, and you can still see things underneath the label. You can sort your data with ascending or descending features in any of the columns. You can use filters, so if you want it really narrow down into specific information, you can use the filters. And what's really nice is being able to share with the sheets. If you have a program that your response sheets can be shared with others. Now I know Adobe Form Central does because I've used that with our staff. You add another person to be a collaborator. Google Sheets also does that very easily, where you can actually have them, you can share an Excel sheet with your team to either edit, view, or comment. So very, very important thing to have when you're looking at all these different columns. There's various ways of downloading your data. You can download it into Excel, a CSV form. You can have charts, lists. HTML is the one that's already on the web. You can use all this data then to throw in your merges. Okay, then looking at Google Forms itself, we're going to look at all those pieces, the 3 pieces, and look at it directly in a Google Form. To get to Google Forms, when you log into your account, you're going to go to that little grid and go to wherever it says Drive. And once you're in Drive, you'll come to you'll have a drop down list from Create. Once you click Create, it'll drop down and you can do any of these apps, but you would choose 4 to do an online form. Okay, so in Google Forms, they have very easy tool builders. You can, when it's in the edit mode, you can edit the question, you can change the themes, you can view the responses, and you can view the live form. And you can toggle through all of these. when you're adding a question, it'll just have a little, this is, it's not open right now, but there'll be a little add button, and you just add a question. And when you add a question, you can choose any of these types of questions. So it's very easy. You just add, choose the type of question you want, put the question in, and it's there. And then you can just take a look, you can view live form just to preview it, see how it looks, come back, and if you want to change it or edit it, you can. These things up here at the very top, when you're building a form, are important to make sure you know. If you have the first one checked, it's only Diocese of Syracuse people can use your form. So I generally uncheck that because I'm usually dealing with people outside of the diocese. You can click to show that progress bar so that when you're in the live form, it will actually have a progress bar at the bottom. You can check to allow only one response per person. It will know if what computer it's coming from. So if you want to be able to share computers or anything, you can have more than one response. And you can shuffle the questions, so if it's a test for a student, and they are, what was the answer to question one? Well, their question one might be different. You can change the theme very easily, and you can review the responses right from there. And I do have to point out, when you're in the editing mode, you can actually click print, and it will create a PDF of the form that you made, and it'll look just like
It's the easiest way to get
just
them
like
the
the
link
form.
is to
If it
email it
was
to them. So you can
check
have like on a web
boxes,
page or
the
something
multiple
where you
choice
can
will
just
actually have bubbles. So it's really nice. You can't print it from the live form though. In order to print a PDF, you have to do it from the edit mode. The one thing I do wish though that they would do in Google, this would be one of my suggestions, is to edit the size of these because they're really gigantic. If they can only just like let you push it down a little bit. Okay, your forms, Google makes very user-friendly forms. However you create it, it's always going to be one question following another. And notice on here, this is the one that was online. Notice the bar down here. It's nice to have that. Sometimes if it's a longer form, people want to know where they are in the form. Okay, then analyzing the data with Google Forms is really nice. You can go right to the spreadsheet, right from the view form, and gives you a really nice layout of all your columns. And you can also click to see all the charts. So you can point to here, so you know what I'm pointing to. But it makes really beautiful charts. Just clicking a button and you see it. You don't have to do any work for it. Okay, so here's those add-ons. As I said, right from spreadsheets, you can go to the add-ons and choose a lot of different things. Another really neat add-on that I don't have listed here is Choice Eliminator. So if you were doing conferences for a class, for parent conferences, and you wanted them to choose a time, you would build it with all your title things on it. And you have your choice eliminator added on so that when a parent goes to that Google form and clicks their time, it disappears from the choices so nobody else can take that choice. Really nice. Okay, so back to that time and balance survey that we've gotten. would have a time and town survey just placed on your website that people could go to or log into. And then all that data being there so that your spreadsheet can be shared with all the different ministries in your parish, and they would know who to contact for that team.
Yes, do you have a sample of the kind of talent on your website, or that you can email, or we can reach you if we don't have yet?
I'm curious to not do it online. Survey. So I don't even have one made. This is just a paper one that I found and took a snapshot of it here. But this would be what the form looks like on paper. Just think of how it might look like. You might be able to create it on a website. I haven't done one yet, but I'm going to attempt it so that I will have a sample. Gathering parent email addresses, or doing a survey with your class to see what their bring your own device technology is and what their level is on using it. These are just a few samples. Here's an example of a social studies quiz within a teacher's blog. You can embed it right into the website. So, just a review, you have choose the right form number for your purposes, create the form so it's easy for the user, analyze and use the data, let it just sit there. But, your question may be, well, how do I get people to use online forms? This is the challenge. For teachers and their students, that's easy, like, you gotta go on there. But you can't force people for your parishes to go on the parish websites. However, some of you might have gone to the website workshop. I mean, you have to make your website something that's dynamic, always up to date, something exciting that people are actually going to go and use, having photos and events, and then your forms. And, when people start, people are getting used to this now. The world is going online, so people are starting to get used to it. When you start to expect that things are done online, you'll have more participation. But it's always good to still have a PDF form for those who can't use the internet or don't have the internet. The ways you can get your word out, have those shortened links in your bulletins, have engaging websites, you can email links, use QR codes, and I did put QR codes on those sheets that I gave you. How many have used QR codes before? You would need a QR reader on your smartphone, and it's simple. Once you have the reader, it's so easy to use. I like SmartView because it really takes you real fast to the website that you're at. But I did put some of these examples of like the choice eliminator you can see on the parent conference one. You can either type it in, or if you have a scanner, you would just simply place it and it just leaps and comes right up. So there's the parent conference right on my phone, and I can fill it out right away and right from my phone. And I have to say, these online forms from Google look terrific on a mobile device. You can send forms through Facebook, Twitter, and other social media. You just send your link. So, remember all those forms that we had? Zillions of different kinds of forms. For teachers, schools, and classrooms, some of the ideas that you might want to put for online forms. Getting to know you, class reading records, peer feedback, a behavior log, student-created surveys, exit tickets, parent surveys, spelling quiz. Spelling quiz is really cool because you can use that guru and it will check all the spelling. Really is. You can have kids do their research notes within Google. volunteer sign-ups. You can do your project rubrics right on the, you can grade them. Oh, cool. Just look for referrals, and that could be a shared one so that people can see, is there a tendency, is there some kind of trend here with this particular student? You can do your prior knowledge, your KWL forms, book reviews, and then a cognitive learning reflections. For faith formation and youth ministry, scripture laws. Instead of a reading law, what about scripture law? Get the kids reading scripture. Service project reflections, program registration, events, surveys. Again, exit tickets are very easy. 3 questions, boom, they're out. Blended classroom assessments, interest surveys, and gender technology survey. For parishes and diocesan work, the talent surveys. Ministry membership, donation forms, contact forms, pastoral care area to submit their events so that one person is gathering all that for the bullet grade. Pastoral care area wide bulletin. Suggestion box. Conference registrations and workshop registrations. And everyday forms. You can do your party invitations, get the RSVP set, an exercise log, a diet log. Just what you want to do, right? You want to bring that diet log. A home inventory log for your insurance purposes. Okay, so we have one more exit form this time to see how well you pay attention. And so if you go to the Techday exit form, you'll find 3 questions to fill out. And while you're logging into that, I'm just going to go ahead here. I do have some of the references that I used for my for this presentation listed here in my slide presentation. I also have all of my information, which is also on the front page of your sheet that I gave you. If you want to contact me for any reason, I would be happy to give you ideas, help you set up your forms. So all my information is there. I also invite you to be a part of the Catechol Sandbox. This is for our diocese only. It's a global community restricted to our diocese. And it's sharing all kinds of web tools and best practices. So I invite you to join that. So if we go to the bit.ly form, see how we're doing. I could go right to the responses and see what's happening. Oh, look at that, we've got, and I think after people's things, and I can always go back and see what we did. I will show that to you after we get more responses in. Are there people working on responses here? Okay, so after all the responses come in, I'll show you how easy Uber is to play. It's a good idea goes by whatever, it goes by an answer key, exactly the word for word type thing. Gather emails, information sessions, sign up for information sessions. Is anybody still working on one? Alright, I'm going to show the grading for now. Okay, I had already had the Flugaroo added on here, and it creates a separate page. So what I would have to do now is update the grades from before. So, I would go to my add-ons, go to Flugaroo, and regrade this. And it's going to say, yes, I want to continue. It's going to work through this. At one point, this idea is just going to be a skip right there. 1 point for this handoff, and these other ones identify, so continue. And my answer key is mine, which I put in first. Continue. You can also choose one student at a time and take a look at each student to see their grades. You can see how I close the columns so they can scroll across. And somehow I just I have my answer to you. Okay. Maybe nobody answered correctly.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
No, you didn't. What was question 1?
It said which one was not.
Oh, that's because I had to go over my answer. That was when I was playing around trying to put, okay. See, the teacher has to have the right answer. I was playing around last night. I must have eliminated my other. I was putting in fake answers to see how everything was working. So apparently